Now that I'm recording, hope everybody can hear me. Sitting in this living room, just figuring it all out for real. Recording live from my living room. Say I'm doing it right then. Hope y'all can hear with these earphone pieces on. Man, look, I've been watching YouTube for ages, learning what y'all learning, what y'all taught me for real. Shit. I even studied a little bit myself, just to know a few things on how to really see this world or see how people are in this world. Dig it? Man, it's crazy. Learning a lot of shit every day. Man, first of all, this so-called this event that's going on, how everybody's being treated. Places so-called fake closing down, people wearing masks and agreeing to wear masks. Like, this shit is all one mind twist, Twilight Zone. Yeah. Just because you see me with a black and white scarf on, that don't mean I'm repping what these motherfuckers walking around here repping black and white. You know what I mean? Checkerboard or whatever you call it. And I just boiled out the stuff. Man, peak games subliminals. Check it. Major world event. Population is supposed to be feeling this massive so-called, you feel me, sickness or whatever. Some people supposed to got this so-called crown virus attacking the mental crown, or the crown, like a corona, the crown drinking, the beer. Peak game, man. It's all one big subliminal message. Once a big subliminal game. You learn a lot just from watching other YouTubers, those who do a lot of studying, and those who just pick up on things, and those who just live in the ordinary life and decide to record it. Bruh, I did 5 years, 9 months, bruh. I've been around certain ones who played the victim game, and then you had those who really lived this street shit, street life, and those who really played a part and, you feel me, made the difference or made moves in the street and lived their life. And, feel me? But a lot of us really overlooked a lot of the shit that our families did, man. A lot of our families are part of organizations, not street organizations. I'm talking about real organizations where back in the 30s, 1800s, early 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, man, to the mid 1920s, big crisis and shit like that, man. I always ask myself if I see this world for what it really is, man. They say sort of segregated and racism and prejudiceness amongst us all. I, growing up in a predominantly black neighborhood, separated from disagreements of who will position a job in. The women couldn't get a job, if a man couldn't get a job. And you learn as a child, man, you really peep game. Like, who the fuck made all this shit up? Who made all this shit up? I'm learning this shit. I've been watching YouTube since, 2011? I got out in 2010. You feel me? I started watching music videos, trying to catch up with the street shit, the music I heard on the radio whenever I had a chance to listen to, go uptown on the radio. I'm like, yo, so many different parts of this shit. I finally got a new phone so I could record. I don't really know how to go about this YouTube stuff, but I watch enough of it, pick and pluck and play, how you say when you playing the card table game. Kings and queens made up like, royal families. All depends on how you put down spades, cut the deck. But pay attention, bro. I know it sounds like I'm rambling, but I'm not. only to some. A lot of us, I didn't watch all y'all videos just about learning, just like y'all learned. And some of y'all been major, some of y'all still stay the same. Some of y'all flip flops. Some of y'all start doing what everybody else is doing, trending, just to get on board. I don't know why. There's nothing, nothing. As well as what the majority of the OGs from the '80s, late '80s and '90s was teaching us and telling us before the cell phone shit. Who was on VH1 and VHS, whatever. Who was on VH1 and
Who is
VHS?
that?
Go on that way, bro.
Who is it?
It's my phone.
You're talking to your own phone.
I'm on the camera part. That's my little mind, you feel me? I'm learning this. I learned about, certain teachers or scholars, as you say, just to open up a few thoughts that I even came across. A lot of it's just living our life, bro. I learned about Dr. John Henry Clark. Heard his name and I just looked him up out the blue. Learned about Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, before the ISIS paper, about the black man and his gun, which is his penis or his phallus, as they say, or his dick for those who are the lamest terms. And why the police decided to use their gun, which in the color formation of the black man's phallus, to use it against him and say my gun's more dangerous or my dick is more dangerous than your dick. You feel me? Basically, his gun is designed to take more life than to give, and our phallus penis is to help bring forth life, and vice versa to what the narrative is, stereotyping is. And I'm based off in what we call it, Baltimore. For those who don't follow me, some of us, we know it as Baltimore, or B-more for short. A lot of us call it like Charm City. We got a lot of legends, street legends here, who survived the game, know the insides, survived long enough to end up being either junkies on the street or still somewhat slightly hustling or just living their life out here. Their children did their time and came home. You feel me? We got a lot of smart individuals, intelligent individuals, bro. Don't let this shit fool you. Oh, we gangbangers and all that. Nah, man. Go back and look at them 1800 photos. 1800 photos of the indigenous people of America. The real indigenous, aboriginal people of America. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. They wore these around their head. Better example. Look down south, throughout the south of the 80s and the 90s. The southern rappers wore these around their neck, either like this, Boosie and that, Webby, even Wayne. They wore it like this. Some wore it up on their head, like Soulja Slim and them, wore it on their head or wore it around their neck. Magnolias, and Whole New Orleans, Louisiana, either wore it around their arm or wore it on their head, wore it on their neck. Mm-hmm. Even some of them in New York, they wore it on their probably not like this, but they wore it around their neck, like, you feel me, like a bandit, an outlaw. They call it cowboy, supposedly. It's a lot of things we don't really know, but the smallest things we find out like this. Just pay attention, man. Look back into your family photos. I've heard it plenty of times. I call it, just because I'm wearing all black, what that's supposed to mean. They say, hey man, we black folk. We black people. Look at my skin and look at the color of this hat. Do I look like the color of my hat? Not at all, bro. Not at all. The color of my skin matches my wooden floor. Damn it. Mahogany or copper or the color of that brick wall. All due respect, but you can call it like you call it. I say it like this, bro. Black. So book that was written called Black Law Dictionary. The Black Law Dictionary. Law. It's law. As far as this government goes, they the ones who created this word black that they put on the people of darker hue, darker color. They called us black because of those who they met first, or those who was being sent over here, or those who traveled over here. They said they come from slaves. Like how? The only ones that was over here in large mass was the indigenous Indians, the ones they called Indians, or the Aborigines, the original Americans that look like me and you. My family, my mama's side of the family, they come from Belhaven, North Carolina, all the way down to Mississippi, all the way down to Louisiana, and Keys of Florida. You hear what I'm talking about? My mama's side of the family, all misnomer or misrepresented name was Cherokee Indians.
Can you come here real quick?
Cherokee Indians, Salangi. I say, oh no, they supposed to be like wolf tribe or bear tribe. Pay attention, man. Some of the largest tribes was broken down into fractions and was separated through the wars of the South. A lot of us was a part of the Iroquois Nation too, that stemmed from the North, which is far Canada. My dad was born in Cleveland, Ohio, as stated on my dang on birth certificate. Out of his own mouth, he said he was a Blackfoot Indian. Blackfoot. Cleveland. That's closer to Canada borderline, where a lot of them was very well, highly respected soldiers. Not just no government soldiers, no. They was actual tribal soldiers. They went to war against anybody and everybody that came from the top part or the far east of the North. So you might have, oh, these was black Vikings. Imagine those who came from that part that was dark-skinned and fought against the dark-skinned of us, or the very brown of us fought against the very brown of us. My father was born in Cleveland, stated on my birth certificate. Out of his own mouth, he said he was Blackfoot. My mother told me at the age of 16, 17, going on 16, 17, who we really were. I kept saying, nigga, man, fuck you, nigga, fuck you, nigga. Yeah, all my niggas. And one day my grandma called me on that shit and said, man, why the hell you keep calling yourself a nigga? You ain't no damn nigga. We Cherokee Indians. I'm from Belhaven, North Carolina. We don't never call ourselves no nigga. Correct that. I'm like, whoa, what you mean, grandma? I sat there one day and watching them black and white cowboy and Indian shows on our TV with her. And I said, grandma, look at them Indians putting on mud on their face, making themselves look dark. And she said, because they're not the real Indians. You see they trying to make themselves look dark. The real Indians are us. The real indigenous people of America are us. Mind you, she's reading her Bible. She closed the Bible, flipped it over, away from the white, so-called white Jesus, Caesar Borgia face, flipped it over. All I could see was the white pattern of the book and the gold trimming of the papers. Literally. She looked at me in my face and said, baby, we are Cherokee Indians from Belhaven, North Carolina. Our family is big. Big. I'm like, big? She was like, yes. You know who my older sister is? I'm like, who? Little Eva Brown, Little Eva Boyd. Eva Boyd. Everybody doing the branding dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. That's my great aunt, my mother is the fifth child of 5 children, 6 children, excuse me. One passed on, was my uncle, as a baby. And my mama was the 5th child. Or you could say the 6th child, because the first uncle that passed on. You see? She was the 6th child of my grandmother's 5. My grandma was the 8th of 13 children. Think about that. My mother's mother was the 8th of 13 children. Her older sister was Little Eva Boyd and Lolita Boyd, who she came out with through the hula hoop. These are my great aunties. My grandfather's name is King David. His name is David. They called him King David. That's his whole name is King David Boyd. Bruh. When you learn about who you really are, you sit down and watch this. I didn't even grasp it at first. I was looking at my family like, you telling me we got family down south, deep down in the south, down in the bayous, in the creeks, floating up, going back and forth across the Mississippi River. You talking about from the bottom to the top, or from the top to the bottom. Real talk. I got family up in Canada. I got family in the Midwest. I got family in New York. It's weird because I never left Baltimore. The only time I've been out of Baltimore was when I went to Hagerstown and did a year and 4 months up in the mountains. Not that far from the cut and right across, not that far from the dang-gone boot camp. That was only a year and 4 months. But I still had more time to go from the first 5 years I had to do. That shit was weird, yeah. You finding all this information out, you running around the streets, don't even give a fuck. And you learn to see this right here is nothing new. A lot of this stuff is tribal to us, and we overlook it. I ain't dread my hair up. I ain't follow suit. I still got my fro. You see? I still got my fro. Shit, let it be. This is only one process of what our hair go through when it's natural. Don't let these fools fool you. Take the kinks out your hair. Are you stupid? We can design our hair to be whatever design it wanted to be or how it's going to stay. Don't let, because we got more. They ain't had no facial hair. Them Indians ain't had facial hair. They kept their hair facially. They kept themselves groomed. Well, that's what their style. They didn't have facial hair. Then there was those who had facial hair. Excuse my blanket if the lights turn me up in here. Just living room light. Real talk. We got so much to look into. They say, well, it's 2020. That's the past, the past. But look what they doing. They using past tactics to rule new events. The future can't be the future if they still using past tactics to control the present, to manipulate the future. Think about that. There cannot be a future if they still using past tactics to control the present, to manipulate the future. If they still using past tactics to control the present, to manipulate the future. Who are the future? The children. When I was younger, I was the future. We were those who was in their 30s were the future. You know, those who are in their 20s, they are the future. Those who are in their teens, they are the future.
What are you doing?
I'm talking on the phone.
Is this a camera?
Yes, this is a camera.
Why showing people?
No, it's not. I'm just showing me.
What can I see?
No. You ain't got no clothes on. Go ahead. You ain't got no shirt on. Excuse me. You feel me? I started asking questions. By me started asking questions, I started talking out loud to people. People that just live their ordinary life, that just go about their day, just don't give a fuck. But then you have those who wear subliminal messages on their shirts and their hats, and not just your everyday Nike sign, your everyday black and white checkered shit, rainbows or dolphins, or the subliminal message that's the media control. I'm talking about messages like black power, brotherhood, sisterhood, queen, king, stand together, fight, unity. I'm asking questions about those type of subliminal messages. I grew up in the 90s. I'm an 85 baby. I grew up in the 90s. Something stuck out to me. Magnolia Shorty. To those who don't know who Magnolia Shorty is, a Soldier Slim. He say, if you survive the 90s, you're OG. I couldn't get it because I'm from Baltimore. So I'm like, damn, why would he say that? I didn't know how New Orleans was. I didn't know nothing about New Orleans. I just loved that music. I love the orchestra, the bands. I love that instruments. I love the way they play them. I love their jazz. I love their blues. A lot of that. It was different from the club music I'm used to growing up with. But they still took they took elements of different cultures of music. That was all black people, so-called indigenous people, drums, bass, trumpet, snares, flutes, different tones of harmonizing, different tones of singing with deep voices, soft voices, octone voices. They took it and mixed it into a blend of the called club music here in Baltimore. So I grew up off of listening to everything mixed into one. So whenever something came on the radio, I heard it already because it was already mixed into a dang on song. So when I heard the whole song, I'm like, dang, it's hard. So when I heard another song that was reggae, I'm like, damn, I heard this before because it mixed inside of a club mix. That's why I respect music. I love music. It's in me. But when he say you survived the 90s, the mid 90s, you're an OG. Mid 90s, I was like 95, I was 10 years old. I was born in 85, I was 10 years old. Living in Cherry Hill. I didn't leave Cherry Hill, which is the south of Baltimore, so-called Baltimore, where the French and the Portuguese fought against the Iroquois nation. This is it's called a Westport, Cherry Hill Westport. It's where they took and came in on boats and ships to supply the northern military. Yeah, to supply the northern military against those who was invaded, which is the Portuguese and the French. Even though they are still family because they came from over there, you feel me? But they came here and fought against the different tribes who became one tribe as basically the Iroquois nation, but the Algonquin, who spoke Algonquin. They somehow, some way, found a way to mislead us from seeing the truth in ourselves, where they say, man, you black, that's all you is, you black, you black, you black, you black. I'm like, all right, you saying it, but my grandma told me I'm a Cherokee Indian. My dad said he a Blackfoot. And he also out his own mouth said, yeah, your mother's side of the family are Cherokee. So I'm like, why you calling me something else? But the people keep telling me, well, I seen the application. I used to summer jobs, and hey, Cheyenne, what are you? Are you African American? Are you black? I'm sitting here like, they don't got Cherokee Indian down here. They don't have. They say if you Indian over here in our market, they was like, you not Indian. I'm 16, 17 years old. I'm like, hold up, but my grandma told me I'm a Cherokee Indian. You know how many jobs I didn't get because of that shit? Because I don't look like the people that was on TV. I'm like, yo, what the hell? My grandma told me something different. They're like, no, but mind you, the city I live in, as soon as you look at our news, the first thing they say is we thugs and we fucking gangsters. The scenario or the stereotype that's placed on a young brother or sister in the city or any county or any so-called ghetto, we are gangsters and thugs to broadcast to the world, and then movies they ask us to play the roles in. But these are actually just the way we live and how we survive throughout the time. And then some of us became legit, some of us just stayed in our way, some of us just lived our life out. You feel me? Can you imagine this? Check this out. Check this out. I seen photos where they say our great grandparents or our grandparents, aunts and uncles, they lived to be 100 and fucking 105, 110, 115, 116, 120. They lived to be that. They lived, you know how they lived to be 100. They lived that long to know the truth about who we really are. Amazing. Some of y'all might see this video, might take a few pointers here and there, or probably discredit what I'm saying, or make a mockery of it, or what you call that, organized gang stalking, watch you, or watch you, and then you speak in truth and stuff like that. That people are fucking weird. I was born February 22nd, 1985. I didn't know nothing what that meant. I just knew I was born on this day. I lived out my life. I had parties. I played. I laughed. Ha ha ha. Joked with all my friends. A lot of my friends ain't here now. One of my brothers was murdered. I went to prison when I was like, what the hell is we doing in here? You talking to somebody who won a scholarship to France, art major. I was so nice with that damn painting. But I had questions for the world that my mama, my daddy wouldn't answer. My teachers couldn't even answer it. I grew up watching Maryland Public Television, National Geographic. I was born and raised by the Patapsco River. I was indigenous. I am indigenous to that part of this landmass, right up under the right wing of the turtle, of the Turtle Island, right there. I can walk down to the water and fish and crab all day long. From the age 5 until I was 11, I was doing it by myself. I had questions for this world. This world was so vast to me. I used to find little small artifacts and stuff. I didn't know what it was until I started watching Maryland Public Television. The Artifact Show. They showing history. They showing this. They showing that. Different elders in the neighborhood used to talk about their old town growing up whenever the road used to be all rocks and gravel. Before this pavement came and horses used to walk through, and they used to have the little trolleys on the road, on the street, riding through the city. And you're a person that want to know the truth. You just want to know. It's hard to go out, and it's not hard. You can always look in this. You can read a book just to open your mind to certain things, or just to help you see what another person sees when you ask a question like, man, what is this? A person already wrote a book on it and explain what it might be or what it might be to them. And then you have those who, off the top of the dome, just say whatever comes to mind, but it's philosophy to them, their philosophy. To you, it's a small poem, or it's a whim, a small note just to take. Nature always seemed to give you. I was raised in nature. I was raised amongst it. I ran through the woods. I ran through the trees. And I didn't have to deal with the world until I moved to the inner city, Baltimore. I felt out of place because I still had answers I wanted. I still had questions I wanted answers to. Wow, these trees are huge. Why this rock got a face on it, like somebody broke a face, a statue or something? Why I got this skin type? What is this skin I got? What is this? They give you stories in school, elementary's during our time growing up in the 90s. To where you don't even know what racism is. You don't even know what prejudice is. I lived in a predominantly all black neighborhood. The only white people I seen was fucking doctors and damn police officers. You feel me? Till you moved out of that part of the city. I ain't gonna say city, that part of somewhat close to the county. And you move to the inner city, you're like, whoa, it's different. Everything moving fast. The people talk fast. The cars moving fast. You gotta adjust, and I'm a very adjustable person. I adjusted fast. But at the same time, I kept getting in trouble. You looking at a person that was still looking to see what this world has, or what's in this world, what's in that water. I can sit by the water and stir in that water all day long. Patapsco River, connected to the Chesapeake Bay, the Chesapeake, flow all the way down to Tuscaloosa. Yeah, all the way down to Tuscaloosa, and it's weird trying to learn it. And by me trying to learn all this, I try to grasp as much as possible. It was coming to me so fast, even when I was locked up. Certain guys was giving me books. They're like, yo, I'm always seeing you reading. What you reading? I said, whatever was on this bookshelf, I just grabbed the book and started reading. I got 3 more years in this shit. You feel me? He was like, hey man, read this. Hey man, read that. I started reading. My eyes was open. Like, whoa, this is too much. This is too much. I didn't know what this was. Government documents, black lines scratched out through things. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Then you have, the black man is God. I'm like, whoa, like, wow. The black woman is God. Black family is God.
Excuse me, Daddy.
And I was
What's up with this?
That's all my stuff. Put it back, bro.
What's this thing?
That's for measuring, make sure the pictures on the wall straighten up. It's a leveler. It's a
What's
leveler.
little green things in there?
It's like a liquid to help you show you if it's straight or not, or if it's balanced out. Put all that back. That's tape. Come on, put it back. That's for arts and crafts. Put it back. A lot of us, or I'm gonna say all of us, just about. It's that's for my speed bag. Put it back. Put it back. A lot of us still learning, but the books that they was giving me helped me open my mind. This is the senses. Helped me open my senses to what's around me. Mind you, I'm locked up. I was locked up, bro. I was surrounded by grown men who were always going back and forth to jail. I went one time to adult jail, and I went that motherfucker for 5 years, 9 months. It was dudes that did 10, came home, got caught, did something else, went back in with another 10, did 5 on it, went back home. The other dudes just got finished doing 14, got sent back out, come back in with a new charge, assault. I'm like, yo, how the fuck is y'all going all this time to turn around, y'all go home and beat somebody up, shoot somebody, kill somebody, or get shot and then go home and come back into jail? What the fuck? But that's a sense that we all have. Mind you, when you're away from the world and then you go back into the world, the people are still moving just the way they was when you left. But a lot of stuff got more advanced. And either you advance yourself while you're locked up, so you can come out here and you can, keep up with the speed of it, the frequency or the vibration of the world. But when you can sit on the block the whole day, everybody on the same shit you on. Might be different thinking, but the vibe, the feeling of it, the sense of it, it's the same feeling, the same sense. You leave for like a year, come back, either they still doing the same thing you was doing, same routine, or it might change a little bit. The name of the shit you selling might change, but it's still the same shit. If it ain't good, step down. But it's the charismatic of it, just to be around it. Once you open your mind up through the books that you're reading, I was given a book called Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper. It is either William, Bill, or Bob Cooper. I couldn't believe this. I'm sitting in the cell. Man, I got 3 years to do that motherfucker. I'm reading that shit. I couldn't even go out my cell. I was like, what the hell? So everything that's going on right now, he wrote that in that book in the 90s. The world we live in. It's people out here that look like they live in an ordinary life. These motherfuckers are paid actors. We are children in this world trying to figure out how we even got in this world. To only realize that it's people in this fucking world that literally go about their life either separating themselves from people to rule the world or rule a masses of people, being the guy or the woman to be on top of everything, or the one who have all the money, all the sex, all the cars, all whatever materialistic stuff. Then you have those who want to be the toughest, the roughest, the meanest, the motherfucking, the baddest in the neighborhood. Then you have those that just come into this world and have a gift to make people smile, make people laugh, to heal people, to help people, to help people, to guide people, man. This my first video. I don't know what's all this minute and time and what 35 minutes and 34. That's counting down, but it's counting up. Man, let this be my first one. I'm gonna upload it and see how everybody take it. And if you like it, or you might say, "Hey, man, he might be on something." See that I'm open to this frequency now. That I'm like, oh, mind you, I've been watching YouTube. I just never respond. I responded to a few people, conscious people, the ones who help me. Rel Smart. I watched him since 2014, 15. Back when he was in the backyard with the afro and the plaid shirt. I've been watching this for a long time. And who else? Who else I've been watching? Beautiful sister from her name is Wayward Witch Renegade. Excuse me, love, I'm butchering it, but you are highly respected by me. You and Ralph. The Conjure Queen, she is highly respected. Young Pharaoh, definitely Young Pharaoh. He's another one. I even seen Seti when he was standing up there and explaining to the people about Jesus, breaking it down. Pay attention. Dr. Ben Yakiman from him, and Dr. John Henry Clark. Highly respected. Y'all need to go check out Dr. John Henry Clark. You think you have a friend. Karimio Awa, Sister Phoenix Moon, Halito's sister. Queen Mother sister, Chief Warhorse. Brother Dan Calloway. And before he changed his name of his channel, Brother Dark Man X. Real talk. And Brother Aboriginal. Look up Dr. John Henry Clark for those who just want to be interested. Learn. And Brother Bobby Hemmett, he said, "He who knows one book knows none." Just open your mind to it. Just to see what the world is talking about. There's an underworld and there's an overworld. The overworld is the mundane things, everything you normally see. Then there's a line that those who are waking up towards in between that line. Then you have those who are at not the bottom, but it's right there in the dark abyss of the ocean. It's right there floating, and you can feel the motions and senses of it. You right there. Look up Dr. John Henry Clark. You think you have a friend. They say black power. Then you realize what was the twist in it. What's the twist? There was a law that said that black means death. But they label us as black people. So they, in the dictionary, they say that all right. Hey man, black means death. And white means pure. But we call ourselves black. We call ourselves black. So to them, by us calling ourselves black or entitlement black, to them they wrote a law or a book, philosophies of us as being the original people of the world. A lot of our knowledge, our philosophies, doctrines, Sanskrit, stones, a lot of our technology was either given to the enemy, stolen by the enemy, ripped off by petty thieves and sold to the enemy or sold to buyers, merchants throughout ancient times. And various millionaires, billionaires, or royal families got their hands on it and wanted to continue to rule over masses of people. The thing is, they needed certain tools and paperwork and